Previously Yuya is despised by everyone in life for his looks, even his nuclear family reject him. However, his granddad continued to care for him, giving him life advice to always help people. One day he kind of saves Cory from some hooligans harassing her by taking a beat down. It is later revealed that his grandfather passed away and left his property to Yuya, which leads to his parents disowning him for not being able to access the inheritance. Left alone, unloved and bullied, he gets frustrated and punches his bathroom wall, which leads to his grandfather's hidden antique room. He finds a door that leads to another fantasy world with magic and a system. He levels up there, but unbeknownst to him, his stats carry over to the real world, causing his body to transform into a Chad. When he returns to school, everyone is shocked and his siblings are salty to see the change. The story continues after he explains everything to the princess. She finally understands the relationship between Yuya and her assassin, but the thing that bothers Princess Lexia the most isn't the fact that she almost got assassinated, but the actuality that Yuya used a magic she deems as problematic. Yuya confirms to know if she is talking about the transportation spell he used to instantly get them from the dark regions to his house. She affirms and marches over with a stern look and tells him never to use such magic again, since transportation magic is unknown within the kingdom and regarded as the stuff of legends. She further goes on to explain that such a spell only exists in fairy tales and has not been proven to exist outside of fiction, and therefore if it were to be known that such magic exists, not only would it flip the script and rearrange what society knows, but it has the possibility to lead to war. After that fantastic scolding, she makes him promise to never transport without paying attention to his surroundings. It turns out that Luna was doing a terrible job at pretending to be knocked out, so Lexia snuffed out her BS and commanded her to wake. The princess walks over and demands to know more about her, but she is reluctant to talk. However, when Dr. Ray shows interest in knowing her history, Luna without hesitation begins her backstory into what led to her current situation. We get a flashback of Luna, who was an orphan roaming the streets in a tattered cloak and a rumbling belly. Her day's trouble consisted of rummaging through the bin and petty crimes, all in a desperate attempt to survive, but luck one day swung by her side when she was taken in and taught how to read and write by a shady-looking guy. Since her master was a professional assassin, he also taught her how to fight and survive, with most of the techniques being closely related to assassination. He then inducted her into the Dark Guild, to which he was a part of. This group of unlawful riffraff were involved in swindling and thievery, among other things. Luna completed various assassinations and would later come to be known as the headhunter. This revelation surprised the princess, but not Knight, since he had that canine instinct that Luna was bad news. After telling her story, she informs them to do with her what they please, because now that she has failed in her mission of assassinating the princess, the Dark Guild will send out people to terminate her. That is only if the kingdom don't execute her for her attempt did taking down a princess. Lexia Luna looks out of the window and accepts her fate of death, but Yuya unleashes the Sigma within him and tells her that he considers her a friend. After enjoying the short time they spend training together, Lexia interrupts and offers her solution to save Luna despite the reality that she was almost assassinated by her. The princess suggests that Luna serve under her as a personal guard. Lexia points out that since her and Yuya are the only people who know the identity of the assassin, no one from the kingdom needs to know, so she will be safe in that regard. And as for the threat regarding the Dark Guild, if she works as the princess's guard, they would find it very difficult to get to her. Although Luna is flattered by the prestigious position and grateful for the pardon, she feels like an assassin and a criminal such as herself, who has committed so many sins with her hands, has no right to stand next to people of light like the princess. But Lexia finds her rhetoric ridiculous and takes her hand before jumping on the bed to order Luna to obey her command, since she was unable to complete her assassination, and as such Luna became the loser and must therefore obey the wishes of the victor. All the while Owen and his party are being chased through the forest by a number of giant goblins as they try very desperately to catch up to the princess. To ensure her safety, his underlings advise him to fall back and trust Yuya with the princess, but he ignores their input and tells them to keep on moving forward until they catch up with Lexia and are sure of her safety. Back at the cabin, Luna has agreed to the terms and the conversation moves on to the bath Yuya acquired when he defeated a monster. Lexia shows great interest in bathing after Luna had described how wonderful it was and how the bath increased her in duty whilst restoring her magic and energy with excitement in her eyes. She asks Yuya if he is okay for her to use it. He has no issues with the request, so he sets it up for the ladies to enjoy. They invite him to join, but he respectfully declines. Whilst taking their bath, the ladies get into a heated discussion about Yuya. The princess accuses Luna of being in love with him, but when she denies it, Lexia then claims Yuya as her husband, which Luna finds an issue with since it is clear that both ladies have been raised up by the Wizard of Oz. They officially declare an intense rivalry between them both, and declare to take each other out to win his heart. They are completely oblivious that he has over 100 other babes in the other world who are also interested in him now that they are fresh and revitalized. Lexia offers to impress by cooking up something for them all to eat, but her dexterity is a bit off, so she fails in cutting a simple potato, but almost gets reincarnated. When Nice Sama narrowly misses his head, he takes over as head chef and whips up an amazing looking platter. When the ladies take a bite, they are blown away by the flavors whilst Yuya stands there basking in his Giga Chad status. Lexia interrupts his moment and rushes over to Hudjung without consent. This makes Luna jealous, so she fakes injury and asks him to feed her. After he does so, the princess gets salty and commands him to do the same to her. They both then feed him and later call it a knife. Yuya lies in bed alone, reflecting on how his day was extremely strange. Morning arrives. Owen and his squad catch their breath under shade when he is called, grabs their attention after seeing that Lexia is alive and well. He sprints over with joy and excitement that she is unharmed. Yuya apologizes to him for taking the lead and leading them behind. He officially introduces Knight, and Owen takes his time to thank the Fenrir for saving Princess Lexia. His attention is then drawn to Luna, so he asks who she is. Yuya struggles to give an answer, but the princess with her loose lips blurts out that Luna is the one who tried to assassinate her. However, she has agreed to work as her guard. This takes them all by surprise, and it was at this moment Luna knew the princess wasn't the sharpest tool in the box. Owen and his boys draw their sword to apprehend the assassin, but the princess instructs for them to let her go, though Owen doesn't understand why she would want the person who tried to eliminate her work as her guard. He lowers his weapon when Lexia explains that Luna had a clear opportunity to assassinate her, but she didn't at that precise moment. Yuya informs Owen that he can no longer attend the palace to meet the king since he has a personal matter to attend to. Even though they are disappointed, Owen shows you the path to take if he is ever free to visit the kingdom. The convoy waves goodbye as they make their way back to the capital. Luna, however, takes the opportunity to dismount before frantically running over to Dr. Riz to give him a kiss on the cheek. She explains that it is her way of saying thanks for everything he has done for her. Lexia catches this in her back view and orders Owen to stop the carriage so that she too can run over to give you a kiss, but he ignores her and continues to hum his tunes. After all that madness, Yuya finds a body of water with Night and reflects on the day so far. He then decides to take a bath with his femur in the open air, but unbeknownst to them they are joined by a strange-looking creature. It gives him a pleasant wave, which prompts him to check the stats of the creature. It is known as a Moju, and it has already been tamed by him. He picks it up and names it Akatsuki based on its color. He appraises Akatsuki and sees that he has a skill called Holy Ground. His new companion exhibits the skill which defines refreshing. Night then brings over a clock to inform him that he is running late for Golden Week. Back in his world, he rushes to school, and luckily for him he has made it in time. Their teacher stands in front of the class to introduce the next competition, which will be a series of ball games. Since their performance will affect her bonus, she tells her class to put their all into it and compete to the death. The first game is football, and the PE teacher explains the proceedings and announces the teams. He tells them to stretch before the game can begin. Yuya puts on some gloves and proclaims to be the keeper since he doesn't know the rules very well, so the best thing he can do is guard the goal, which may give him an insight into learning the rules. The game commences, and a player on Yuya's team blitz through the entire opposition before scoring a goal. As Rin watches the game, she sees an opportunity to distract the males on the opposition team by taking advantage of Keith's assets. Rin asks her to jump up and down, knowing full well that her weapons of mass distraction will play with the minds of the opposition. However, this has the reverse reaction when one of the opposing team members is inspired by the organic pillows. He takes the ball and skillfully dribbles past everyone before releasing his most powerful shot. For a moment it looks as though the ball is going into the top corner of the net, but Yuya, who is the master riddler and ultimate Chad, teleports and stops the ball from entering the net. The episode turned into blue lock. Real quick, this catches the opposition by surprise as they were sure it was a certain goal. Yuya is unsure on what to do with the ball, so one of his teammates yells to him to throw the ball as hard and far as possible, so this mofo uses all his strength and launches the ball, which jets past everyone and goes straight into the opposition's net with an answer. He wants to know if that counts as a point, but everyone is more surprised and concerned that he is able to throw a ball which covered 130 yards in seconds. Personally, I do not understand why they seem so shocked, since the week prior this mofo wrestled a wild bear with his bare hands and won by means of suplex. Later that day, as the students enjoy their break, a mysterious lady stands out inside the school gates like a boss before slightly removing her glasses and then confirming her place of arrival. That brings the episode to an end.